the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening at home. There. Public comment. Any public comment out there?
Right to it.
Yes? No?
I do have a question. On your last bullet here of your financial reports, it says chargebacks, $5,000+. What is the chargeback? Is that a penalty?
Trying to see where you're at.
The last bullet of
Oh,
number
okay,
4.
okay. Let me see if I can remember what Kelly said. That's to the Commissioner of Finance, where the taxpayers were overcharged on some particular tax item, and we had to pay back to the Commissioner of Finance in county. Being no further public comment, especially since I just got caught with something I really didn't know. Previous minutes, I have the minutes of November the 25th. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
I wasn't here, I'll abstain.
Okay. On communications, I got a lot of stuff here. Not a lot, but I received from the village all the information you want to know about the zoning changes. The GML referral form, the proposed local law as introduced on December the 2nd, the County of Orange VHF 2010 map, the FEAF Part 1, including supplemental maps, notice of intent to be lead agency under CEQA, and a resolution setting the public hearing. All of this stuff is in one neat package. It's funny, and I'm not making any funny remarks about the village or what have you, but I decided that let me read through this. And the first page I opened up, and in the first box I looked, municipality, Village of Harriman. So if anybody from the village is listening, or if you haven't caught it already, it's there. I'll have this on my table in the office if anybody wants to take it and make copies of it on the board. I'll leave it there. Okay?
Thank you.
It's about, what do we got? Maybe a dozen pages, so that's why I didn't make a copy for everybody. I got, and I think I may hand this over to our esteemed Councilman Sullivan. From the Department of Health, I have a complete report on the village's water, the inspection of the plant, everything that they've done. We're pleased to note that since the last inspection, you did this, 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 and this. You want this?
I certainly do. I'll share it with everybody via email.
Hey, while we're on the site, any updates on the capacity of Bog Meadow? Has the rain helped at all? I haven't heard anything.
I don't know.
I don't want to speak on the village's behalf. I go out there frequently. I think I was out there, maybe it was Saturday or something like that. So we've had some rain, and it was at the same level. There's that yellow meter at the old dam. The bottom rung is where it was at the last time I was there. It was there 2 weeks before that, so it kind of balanced out. It kept it at the same level. I think that's somewhere around 38% from what I've heard Peter Carroll say. We're getting rain today and Wednesday, but don't park it in the back of your mind. We're going to be safe for now. The fires are out, but it's something that needs to be addressed.
Thanks, man.
Councilman DeWitt may bring this up during his report, but on Thursday, December the 12th, 7 p.m., right here in the town hall, on Zoom also, and there'll be a electricity supply program explanation. You can bring, okay.
Yeah, I got it.
So I'll let you take care of that. There's an informational meeting and community conversation on December the 12th also, from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Orange County Community College Newburgh campus, Kaplan Hall, Great Room, number 101. And you can learn more about the types of fish and crabs from the Hudson River that are safe to eat and in what amounts, the best practices for cleaning and cooking fish to reduce chemical exposure, and how the state is working to inform communities, including newcomers, about safe fish consumption. So there's going to be a conversation on fishing the Hudson. These notices that I have here, I put one in English and one in Spanish down in the Mindock Park on the bulletin board. A letter from DOT. Site work has ceased due to our construction winter shutdown, including lane closures. Site work will resume in March or April, weather permitting. In the meantime, the contractor will only be on site for emergency roadway issues. DOT has been in touch with West Point regarding high-volume events and are prepared to display traffic information on variable messaging boards as necessary. When construction resumes in the spring, the speed limit will be reduced to 45 miles per hour within the construction zone and 35 miles per hour through the shorter area containing the lane shifts. As safety is our top priority, speed limits will be strictly enforced via automated work zone enforcement and our partners in law enforcement. So that's Route 9W, of course, Storm King. That answers some questions that people, did they stop for the winter? Well, they most certainly did. Governor Hochul wants to put more money back in your pocket with New York's first ever inflation refund. Bottom line is a $300 payment to all single New York taxpayers who make less than $150,000 a year. A $500 payment to all New York joint tax filers who make less than $300,000 a year. So this will, obviously, this is for next year, which is just down the road. And
tax returns.
we got to get, let's see, Leslie, do you put things on our website, town website? I think just June and Kelly do, right? Okay. The governor's asking us to put this on our website. Financial reports. Transferred $108,885 from the consolidated account to the paying account to cover this week's check run. MVP Healthcare, union and non-union December health and dental, $45,108. Rockland County solid waste tipping fees and sludge removal, $18,142. Teats asphalt, super pave and escalation, $8,455. Town of New Windsor for IT services in September and October, $7,718. Commissioner of Finance for some chargeback that I'm not sure what that's about, $5,600. Then I also transferred $107,423 from the consolidated account to the paying account for the New York State Municipal Workers' Compensation, Workers' Comp from January 1st to March 31st, 2025. $31,346. Rockland County Solid Waste tipping fees and sludge removal, $15,110. Office of the State Comptroller, court fines and fees for September and October, $10,324. Hawkins, Delafield, and Wood, 2023 flood bond anticipation. That's the bond, the BANs that we're taking out as a result of the flood. And there's much less bonds, BANs, this time out than we did at the same time last year. Our legal services for November, $6,935. Any questions from the board?
Just one observation.
Yes, sir.
The sludge analysis, did I send you the updated one? I'm not sure. So with Denali down there, we got a bill from Rebecca and Kelly for $3,800. And in that bill, I looked at it, the $2,400 that were previously charged was being charged again, along with an analysis fee and the sampling fee. So that's on hold till Kelly comes back. I think I sent a copy to you.
Yes, you did, yeah.
And the ticket number, the volumes or the weight stays the same, 4.83 tons or whatever, but the ticket numbers are changed. I'm not saying they're fraudulent, but it's really messed up. So I said, just like, put it on hold, get it settled with them, pay what we owe, and start brand new.
Yeah, right, I saw that part of it, and that's a great idea, yes. Yeah. Okay, liaison reports. We'll start with Councilwoman Sparta.
Sir, I have nothing today.
You have nothing?
I have nothing.
That's the best report you
You're
can give.
welcome. You're welcome.
You're supposed to be...
Richie will make up for that,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
No, I have no doubt. Yes, I yield my time too.
Councilman DeWitt.
Richie, I said when you're here, I don't get to use the word sludge in my report. I want to say thank you 2 weeks ago. Thank you. I did the best I could. I'm glad you're here. Let everybody know the town has decided. We did renew our contract with the Community Choice Aggregate Electric Program. We're doing it, it offers 50% renewable electricity supply at competitive rates. Again, for people, if you're opted out of this program, you are still opted out. Just because we renew the contract, nothing changes your status quo. The nice thing about having the offering, though, is keep your eye on your electric bill, or if you want to, participate in renewable energy, you have that ability without any contract obligations. You just got to opt in or opt out. So again, it's worth keeping an eye on the electric rates. Right now, O&R's been keeping them pretty low, so be it, but the offering is there. Again, new accounts are opted in. You have to opt out when you have a new program. Again, if you're opted out already, you're good to go. Since it's a new contract, there is a presentation happening this Thursday, December 12th at 7 p.m. right here in this room. It's open to the public if you have any questions. It'll also be offered as a Zoom call if you wanted to watch it from home live. All the information on the CCA meeting is on our social media page. MJ, I think you did a thing for us last week. Thank you again, as always. And it's also on our town website. So again, this Thursday, 7 p.m. right here. If you have any questions or you want information about the new CCA program. Basically, we just extended it for another year from where it was. The new dial-a-bus is in. Bob, if you've talked about it, it's up at the garage. My understanding is it's getting registered Thursday, and they expect to have the new dial-a-bus on the road Friday. What does it mean for the dial-a-bus users? Nothing. It's a new bus. Getting rid of the old one. As you know, it was a little slow to come on the road because they delivered it, we believe, with Curious Joel's phone number on it. That's all been fixed, and again, they expected to have it on the road Friday, definitely next week. And thank you to Debbie and Tiffany and everybody at the garage that always get that done for us. West Point stuff, the Community Leaders Information Forum, West Point canceled it for the month of December, so we'll be back in touch with them for the new year just to hear what's going on. And then on holiday notes, and Dee, I'm sure you can jump in if I miss anything, but the third annual Community Holiday Parade is happening right here in the village on Main Street on Friday, December 13th. The parade kicks off at 7. Anybody in the community is welcome to be in the parade. If you have a float.
It got changed.
Uh-oh.
No, it's last minute. We were going back and forth.
Let's hear, let me finish this, and you can jump up and talk about the changes, though, if there's things people should know. What I have is the most up-to-date. Sally gave it to me a couple hours ago. If you want to be part of the parade, please give Sally Dorsch a call at 845-521-5364. And if you want to be part of the parade, you got to be up by the fair gate at 6:30 p.m. Again, this Friday, the holiday parade right through the village here. And of course, I like to say, back by popular demand, this Thursday, December 12th, they'll be redecorating the Memorial Park for the holidays, and people are invited to help out, starting at 9 a.m. on this Thursday. Again, if you want to show up and help, a lot of people, it's really like the, what are the things called?
Just decorating the mini elf village.
The mini elf village, and yeah, a lot of word that people really wanted to see that again, so that's coming back, and again, they'll be building that this Thursday, and if you'd like to join, come up with your kids, or come up with yourselves and pitch a hand. Help is always welcome in the community, and they'll be doing that Thursday here at Memorial Park. Dee, is there anything else added about, that you wanted to mention about any of the holiday stuff?
Well,
Come up to the mic, please.
hi, Dee Moreno, Chamber of Commerce. There was a lot of last minute changes, and when I mean last minute, I don't mean like last week, I mean like literally like Saturday, Sunday, and today. Only because there was a lot of back and forth, and I know Bob knows what's going on in the background. And this is what we can finally settle on, and we thank the board. Thank you again for always supporting us. We do go back and say exactly what you tell us, but there's always a back and forth, and hopefully the next coming year, when we reevaluate the chamber's like insurance, we'll be able to, not weigh so heavily on you guys for all of these events, but we thank you guys in advance. So literally last minute changes, 7 p.m. I just started changing everything online. I didn't have a chance to email Mary Jane yet, but 7 p.m. and we're gonna meet right in front of Thayer Gate because there's a certain new policy now for Buffalo Soldier staging, which requires me to get every driver's license, copy, address, the whole 9 yards in order for them to enter and then stage at Buffalo Soldiers Field, and they wanted that like 3 weeks ago, and we don't have that time.
Okay.
So for next time, we'll be staging right out there in front of Thayer Gate. And
So in short, 6:30 at Thayer Gate,
Yep.
7 p.m. kickoff for the big holiday, the third annual holiday parade.
And
That's what
we'll have-
everybody's got to know.
And we'll have the decorations up until December 31st, and then we'll take them down on New Year's. And if you want to...
You don't wait till
I got it.
Christmas, January 6th?
I know.
Question.
Yes, sir.
So, make sure I heard you correctly. So, because of some new policies and procedures, the staging is not happening inside the gate at Buffalo Soldier Field, it's happening outside the gate at Thayer
Yes.
Gate.
Yes, sir.
The question I have is, are the leadership from West Point participating?
So they got the new information as I received it, and they're double checking to make sure their assets are still available since it's not going to be 5 o'clock anymore, it's now going to be 7. So they'll reconfirm with me. So they got the information probably sooner than everybody else did because we wanted to make sure we could secure those assets.
So, besides the assets,
Yeah.
is Garrison Commander, Sergeant Major, Deputy, are they getting in the parade like we have seen in the past?
I would hope so. Let's see, it's a new time and things have changed at the last minute, so that's what we're waiting on the reply back.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
If you'd like to talk to them personally, I don't mind. I don't know if this is.
Well, no, that's why I wanted to know if that had been confirmed, if they have committed,
Well,
because I
we
don't have a
submitted-
problem with going over there, trust me.
Oh, yeah, we submitted it to Jim Fox, Jenna, and Matthew Hines, who handles the DD 2536 and events at West Point, and then they share it out to the commanders, and then I usually do another email to follow up, but I'm gonna find out what he says and then send another, I don't wanna be annoying, but send another email and see what they say.
Yeah, no problem. I'm kind of familiar with the process, how that works. But yeah, they've set a precedent with participating and partnering.
Oh, yes,
And so it'd be a travesty if all of a sudden the bureaucracy says that the paperwork got stuck somewhere, the colonel never knew, and then they don't show up,
No, that's why I annoy everybody with my emails, definitely. No, I understand what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank
And then
you.
since we didn't have the cliff, I can't annoy them personally. So, and that's about it. Sorry again, but thank you to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, you have any more?
Thank you.
Councilman King?
Okay, yes, good evening, everyone, and good evening, everyone at home. Just a few notes here. First of all, thank you for such a big crowd coming out tonight. We appreciate you all. And let me start by saying that it's that time again. MLK Day is coming up. Can you believe it? It's now December, and next month is MLK Day. So our 31st annual MLK Day March is in the works of planning. And so that's Monday, January 20th. And as usual, we'll line up at Sacred Heart Church, and that will be 10 a.m. lineup. For anybody that wants to volunteer to participate, like we've had in the past, children that recite some sort of reading from a book or something about MLK. We've had other people sing. We've had other people volunteer in different capacities. Feel free to reach out to Ms. D. Marino or myself for that matter. But yeah, we're going to get everyone out there. Rain, sleet, shine, cold, we will be there. MLK Day, the 31st annual, January 20th, 2025. 11 p.m. is start time of the parade, 10 a.m. is lineup. Number two, on Saturday, February 8th, there is a trip to the New York City Cathedral Church. And if anybody's interested in attending that trip, then you can reach out to the center for information, more details, and sign up. But that trip is coming on February 8th, which is a Saturday. Third, the annual March Mania is almost here. It is March 14th and 15th. It's a co-ed basketball game. If you haven't been familiar with that, this year it's going to be attended and played at James I. O'Neill High School. So we're moving to the high school this year, and the POC for that is none other than our recreation director, Mr. Aaron Falk. That's always a good time. Number four. We got a huge event that's being planned right now, well underway for planning, but still need volunteers, and it's not too early to start to sign up for this, but it's called Hope Rocks, April 26th. It's a huge event, community level event, and it's intended to highlight mental health and substance abuse education. And the point of contact for this one is none other than Ms. Hannah Pitt, the coordinator for this for events at the center. And this event is going to take place at Rowe Park, and it's going to be from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we are asking that the town of Highlands and police, along with the ambulance corps, the DPW, all participate in one way, shape, or form, and then others get involved, vendors and so forth. For more information, please reach out to Ms. Hannah Pitt at the center to get the details and to sign up as soon as possible, because we want to have this thing done right. And then I want to conclude by saying that on Saturday, despite the 20-something degree weather, I was at the cemetery at West Point for the annual wreath laying, and amongst a lot of other people who were there honoring the veterans who have gone on, passed on, and putting wreaths on their graves. And the folks that I was there in particular to highlight was the Buffalo Soldiers who had been stationed at West Point, to include my uncle, Sergeant Leon Tatum, Sergeant First Class retired Leon Tatum, and Sergeant Sanders Matthews, and Sergeant First Class Robert Johnson. Those are the three. And, oh, by the way, Snowdrop Smith, from some of you all remember, Edward and Snowdrop Smith, wonderful couple there, Buffalo Soldier and wife of a Buffalo Soldier who lived to 100, I think. I was able to get wreaths and put on their graves. And so, subject to anybody's questions, that concludes my briefing, and I just strung it out a little just to compete with my colleague to the right. But I yield the remainder of my time.
We're almost the same. We're almost the same. So I've got a couple things to talk about. All right. For those of you at home that tell me that you mute me, now would be a good time. So with the building report, the village a few weeks ago adopted a major change in their code, and I took time to discuss this with Philip Hannawalt and Eric Smith, and I called Lankin Tully to let John Russo know we have expectations of increased activity. To repeat the way we are structured in our building department, we have Phil, who is number 4 on the county list when we gave him that job, full-fledged building inspector. We have Gabby, full-time, coordinating zoning, planning, and building department affairs. She is equivalent of having a zoning planning office administrator. She serves all those roles. We have Andrew, John Russo, and Dave Higgins from Lankin Tully assisting the building department in matters including violations, fire inspections, and projects. I want to defer for a moment to a project in Fort Montgomery, Dunkin' Donuts. On that project, the planning board derived an escrow of $26,000 imposed upon the developer for inspection, which was done by Lankin Tully privately. No public money, very little public money was spent there for anybody to inspect that. The planning board does that, they're good at it. I fully expect future AOG and other village developers to be handled in a similar manner. And so the combined planning board serving both the village and the town, along with the combined building department, will be well prepared to meet the needs. And Justin is the planning board attorney. That's how they do business. I look forward to what they come up with in the future. So I see Alina's here, and I'm glad for that. It seems like it never ends, and I try and quell some of the conjecture associated with the goings-on in the building department. I was at a village meeting a few months ago, and I stood up and told the people what my email is: rsullivan@highlands-ny.com. Anybody who wanted to contact me about anything, feel free to do so. The only one who has is right back there is Alina, and we solved the problem on McCullum's Lane with the garbage truck. And I assure everybody that Philip has been out occasionally checking these garbage cans that people say are staying out for weeks on end. Some of them he has cross-checked have serial numbers that belong to other owners. I myself sold a house a couple of years ago, and I swapped the cans when I did so. So if you check my serial number, it's going to be my neighbor's. And sometimes I'm not home for 3 or 4 days at a time, so my can doesn't always get put away in a timely fashion. No excuse for that. Philip will address those things if he's notified about it, and he does. And the Highland Falls Police Department has the authority to do that also in the village code. Melanie contacts me about building matters on occasion. I communicate all the time with Peter Carroll. I communicate with Jimmy Ramus very often. No agenda, just a mutual conversation between people serving the public in a harmonious manner. Mayor Joe and Jim DeSalvo are always welcome to call me. I know they call Philip frequently. That's right in our agreement with the Village of Highland Falls. Weekly, he has to give them a report, and they have open carte blanche to call him about any matter before them. So I just want to say that Philip was the 4th on the county list. The town did a really good job getting him to be our building inspector. And he could have made a lot more money somewhere else, but he stayed here with us. So I'm gonna ask people to please give him a little bit of cooperation and respect in doing his job. As for me, I'm elected. I'm fair game. Go for it, okay? So one final building department note, there's a fire code throughout New York State that we must comply with. And I would specifically like to read Village Code 122-22B. In buildings of mixed capacity, non-residential space shall be separated from residential space by approved fire separation, which will retard the spread of fire. There's a recent project on Main Street that an applicant came into the building department on this matter. We know the zoning has been changed. Zoning is one thing, the building code is another. There are many buildings on Main Street that are close to 100 years old that have burned. Close your ears, Nancy. The bowling alley burned twice. Joseph's burned. The Park Restaurant had a Molotov cocktail thrown into it. The Southgate burned very badly. The Venice caught on fire years ago. The North End Laundromat caught on fire a couple of years ago. Andy's caught on fire after the flood a few years ago. And so they have an obligation, if you have residents living above a downstairs commercial space, to have fire separation. Just because it wasn't that way for the last 100 years means that you continue having it that way. So I applaud Philip. He's done 13 of them in the last 2 years on Main Street. I applaud him for doing that. He's trying to enforce a code with buildings that are very old. On the sewer, I spent a lot of time on town business last week. I even played deputy town clerk for a couple of hours. That was interesting. I went down to the sewer plant and I got pictures and dimensions of the sludge building, which is the only one left that requires a roof. We have enough money to pay for it this year. I'm hoping to get the RFP out before the end of the week and at least get that let. It's not going to be enough for a competitive bid, but as our procurement policy, I have to get 3 prices and I want to get that let before the end of the year so we can spend the money out of this year's budget to accomplish that. While I was down there, we have a local contractor who was the lowest bidder on the dog pound. They're doing a great job down there. Spent a little time talking to them. Water. I took Bob to Bog Meadow a few weeks ago. I go every week. We've had some rain, but make no mistake, we should still be vigilant in our conservation and be future planning. That's a village facility, but we're all in the game, so I don't mean to step on anybody's toes. I know a lot about water, and I'm sharing that with you. The town is currently using under 65,000 gallons a day. We have an agreement for 150,000 gallons a day. Once our tank is complete, that goes up to 200,000 gallons a day. The village appears to be using about 500,000 gallons a day at the moment. I believe their safe yield is somewhere around 750,000, and I strongly recommend as time goes on that we revisit some of the options we've talked about to augment our water supply, including my favorite, Glycerin Hollow, in which someday I'll be happy to talk about that, and hopefully find creative ways to fund it. Tomorrow, Bob and I are meeting with VRI up at our water tank at Corbin Hill. I'm having Gabby digitize all the plans we have related to water and share it with them so they can hit the ground running. I plan to spend part of tomorrow taking them on a tour of our infrastructure, which they're pretty familiar with anyway. And in regard to the water tank, the engineer sent a note out today. I don't know if you saw it, Bob, or not. The contractor plans on pouring the concrete up there on December 20th and having it ready for the tank to be assembled after that. He knows that it's required to heat concrete. They're well aware of all that. They're going to go for it, so I expect that to be poured by December 20th. These tank assembly people are usually held up for a while. Once they do that, they can come put it together whenever they're free to do so. I think that'll be up by springtime from what I'm hearing. The DPW contract, this has been an enormous undertaking. This is my third one. I thank Joey for helping me out. I've charged him with the task of coming up with a way of redefining what's in their contract as holiday pay. The association was given our first workup on November 26th. They voted no on the salary schedule, but they pretty much accepted everything else in the contract that we adjusted. I sent out their counter proposal today to everybody, including Justin. I don't think we should discuss that publicly. I would like to call for an executive later on to see if what they sent is agreeable to people. I put it in tabular form, so I'm gonna call for an executive later on unless you wanna discuss it publicly, which I don't know if we should. The Drew Road Drainage Project, I sent everybody pictures of how they're doing down there today. They're about 7 or 8 days into it. Even with the rain, they've relocated the head wall. It looks great. The DPW is doing a good job down there. And I would like to thank Vision, the library, and anybody involved with asking me on December 1st to help decorate Lady Cliff Park. They all know that I have a black thumb, but they asked me anyway. On that note, I would like to recognize and thank all organizations contributing to decorating the community. Beautification, Garden Club, United Youth, the Chamber, United Youth, the Chamber, Community Connections. It strengthens the community when these volunteers do so with humble and contrite hearts. And that's it.
Thank you. And at your request, we will have an executive session. Justin, do you have anything? Chief?
Just want to give the stats for November. The police department responded to 708 calls for service, of which 365 were directed patrols. We handled 11 cases, made 2 arrests. We did 118 traffic stops, wrote 66 tickets, and handled 14 motor vehicle accidents.
Thank you. Chief? Okay, I have 3 estimates from Gorman Construction. If you remember, I had a kind of a problem with the last estimates or the last contracts with them. These seem to be pretty much in line with what my problems were the last time, meaning that there are no problems. The price includes 3 people for traffic control and trucking. The last time I questioned the trucking, since we provided it, and why shouldn't the price be cheaper? Well, they gave me a new contract and no trucking on it. So, but anyway, we're okay now. The price for Wyant Road is $50,625. That's the traffic control and trucking. But what I can't get over is if we need additional flaggers, that's the guy that stands on the road with a flag, they'll bill us $1,500 daily for each one. Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. I hope
Per flagger.
Per flagger. I hope our town highway doesn't find out about that and look at it prior to the contract. For Mine Dock Road, it's $101,171. And for, come on, Mine Road, it's $115,200. I'm asking the board to give me permission to sign both contracts. No, all 3 contracts. Unless you have any questions. Questions? Town board, questions? Rich, questions? This is right in your line now. Yeah.
You make the motion, Nancy?
I made the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I'll sign these and get them off to Gorman Construction. Any other public comment? Yep.
Hi, do you get, was this on? I don't don't know if that's even what it is.
It's online, it's online.
I just want to make sure. Hi, Dee from the Chamber again. So thank you, Joe and Ty, for giving the updates. Just putting on my other hat for the Town of Highlands Special Events Committee. It's never too early to volunteer for the upcoming Juneteenth. It's a very big deal, like it's a very big spectacular event that happens Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It includes our Veterans Resiliency event, and we need a lot of hands on deck, so we want to start early. So if you would like to volunteer, my number is very large on my window on Main Street at 260 Main Street, but you can call me anytime, 845-537-9229. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. I'm very readily available in the village and in the town, so please let me know. And then, of course, obviously the parade and the MLK is coming up upon us really fast, right after the holidays. We're always looking for marchers and anyone who would like to do just some short presentations on what MLK means to them, or any type of little bits of history that they may have that they'd like to present. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dee. Does the chamber have a website yet? I know you're working on it.
We do have a website. The problem we had was gaining the permissions to update that website. And I actually have, if that's okay to say, I actually have a meeting tomorrow with someone local who understands the problems we're having. Luckily, the one person who was stopping us has since quit the chamber, and now we have all access to our own rights to our website. So we're going to get someone to come on in and help us old fogies out that don't know anything about the web design, so we can update it, because I believe it's just kind of really standard on there. Not much information, if any, has changed on there. So, and I did try to update a little bit here and there throughout the year with my non-expertise, and I think I maybe jumbled it, but people could still read it.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, so I'm hoping as soon as we get that information going, I will definitely send it out to everybody, let everybody know we're on. And just FYI, we are looking into getting an app to help better tourism, so fingers crossed we'll be able to kill two birds with one stone before the year's out.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
It's great for us.
Okay, since Richie asked for an executive session, I'll ask for a vote to have an executive session to discuss the highway sanitation contract and to talk with the chief about cars.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried, thank you. We will not be coming out after the executive session.